Hey guys, welcome back to the Powerline Education channel. I'm Marcus. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this video. In this video, we're going to talk about the print track, okay? And a lot of people have probably seen this in my sessions, and you'll see this a lot in any DAW videos that I do from here on out. And what this track is an audio track that's built into my template that records the two mix sum of everything going on in my session, okay? So if you guys remember, I had a previous video that talked about buses, VCAs, and groups. Well, in that video, I explained how every track in my session goes through a bus at some point, okay? So my drums go to the drum bus, my bass goes to the bass bus, guitars to the guitar bus, keys go to the keys bus, and then vocals go through my Vox bus, okay? Now, all of those buses then in turn go to other buses, all right? And in this case, all of my music buses, drums, bass, guitars, keys, all that stuff gets summed down to what I have called a music bus, okay? So all of the musical instruments go to their respective buses, and then all of those buses get summed down to a two mix in the music bus, okay? Everything that's not instrument related skips the music bus and goes directly to the mix bus, okay? So all the instruments go to the music bus and then out from the music bus into the mix bus, and then non-music things, which is in this case is just vocals, goes out from their vocal track straight into the mix bus. So it bypasses the music bus. So now after all this routing, we see that everything in the session gets summed down to a stereo mix coming into this mix bus, okay? And this is where I can do any kind of overall processing to my mix, right? So after I get to this mix bus, I then come out of the mix bus into an audio track through an internal bus, which I've named print track, okay? So the mix bus outputs from its track goes into an audio track, a stereo audio track, which I have named the title of the song I'm working on and then whatever draft I'm on of that song. So in this particular song, the name of the song is Mama's Table, and right here it says RFM. This is what I use to dictate a mix that's ready for master, okay? So why do I do that? Well, let's consider the routing and how this actually routes and what it means by doing this, and then you'll kind of understand why I'm doing it and how I'm using it. So with everything in my session going through their buses and then summing down to this mix bus, which then outputs to the audio track, there is nothing in my session that is directly going to the main outputs, okay? So if I go ahead and let me mute this real quick and I'll re-explain that in a minute. If I go ahead and mute the audio file that is currently living on the print tracks lane right here and go ahead and play, we'll see all my meters moving, right? So my instruments and playing, my tracks and stuff are playing, but you're not going to hear any sound. And the reason being is that all of these tracks, again, end up here at this audio track, but they're bottlenecking here because an audio track typically plays the file that's in its lane, the way that these audio tracks up here are playing this file, okay? But none of these audio files here are on this lane, so the audio track doesn't know what to play. It doesn't think it needs to be playing anything. So if you look right here, I have this this button that looks like an I, and what that stands for is input monitor or track input monitor, as you can see on the screen, okay? So if I hit this I, the audio track is now no longer going to look for the file that's here. It's going to now look for the source of what it's being sent to its input, in this case, the output of the mix bus. So if I go ahead and hit this I, we should hear our song. Down when I was in the cradle. And if I take the I back off, it's no longer looking for the input. Now it's looking for the actual file that's going to be in its lane, which right now I have muted. If I unmute this file, now my audio track is playing this file that I have printed. So with the click of this simple I can A/B stuff that I had previously printed by having it like this, or I can turn this on and now hear whatever changes I'm currently making to my mix, okay? So let's just say this was a rough draft, or let's just say this was a mix 1 draft, and I come in and make some note changes and I delete this and I delete that and I turn this down or something like that. Then I can go back, and right now I'm playing the file that I had previously printed, which is my ready for master mix, right? Best times I'll remember. So we're not seeing any changes happen from what I did here because I'm playing this file, but the moment I turn this on, best times I'll remember. Hear my keyboard coming in and out.
Was in the cradle. It's in my kitchen now, but it's still mine.
So I'm jumping back and forth between any changes I'm making here in the actual files of my session and then what I had previously printed on my print track down here. That's the primary reason why I use this, my ability to A/B things quickly to see, okay, I had a mix one and we thought that was okay, and then I went to bed, I came back, gave my ears a rest, and then I started mixing again, and then at the end of day 2 of mixing, or after a couple of hours of making changes, I'll A/B what my original draft was versus where I've ended up. And if I've gone in the wrong direction or it sounds worse, then I need to go back to mix 1 and continue from there again, right? And I'm not going to keep going if it doesn't sound very good. Or I can assure myself that, okay, the changes I've made, I think I like and they sound good. And once I'm done with those changes or that draft, I'll then reprint that draft to this file, and I'll actually make a new playlist. I'll always keep my previous drafts in the playlist, but I'll make a new playlist and print that as mix 2 or mix 3 or whatever mix I'm on. Okay, that's the purpose of the print track for me. Now, for those of you who are not with the idea of sitting here and letting this print in real time all the way through, because most of you guys are probably used to offline bouncing and being able to bounce faster than real time, you can definitely do the same thing, and I can have my mix bus now become the point where everything plays from. So I'll take the I'll take the outputs of my mix bus, and instead of sending them internally to an audio track, I'll just send them directly to my outputs. I now have that working, and then I can select my range. I can do my key command of Control Option B, or for Mac users, Command Option B. And for PC, it's Control Alt B. I apologize. And I can select the main outs, and then I can bounce this offline. And then what I can do is I can select this import after bounce. And when I do that, and it does the bounce, and we'll wait for that to finish real quick. So after I export that, you'll see that a file imports into my session, and this file that is imported back into my session is the same as this file that I had manually printed to my print track. The only difference with this way of doing it is that this file will be imported onto a new track that's not really in a part of any of your routing, so I don't have the option of using my input monitor to A/B it. It literally just won't do anything different. So you'll have to go through manually soloing this, listening to it, unsoloing it, muting it, and then listening to whatever else it is that you want to A/B with. So that's another way. But this method here with the print track is great because I'm very quickly able to open up my old draft or see my old draft and quickly A/B between any changes that I'm making throughout the mixing process of my song. So hopefully this was useful to you guys, understanding what the print track is for, and if you guys start using it, great. If not, that's also great, but just wanted to show you guys how my workflow works and a cool way that I'm able to be efficient in my work and not have to overthink things too much, all right? Be sure to leave comments and subscribe, and leave comments on what it is that you guys would like me to talk about if you have any specific topics. Again, more Studio A videos on the way. We are definitely going to get into the more cool stuff, but in the meantime, check out more of the quick start tutorial videos that I'll be posting, and thank you guys for stopping by and checking this out.